2022 marked 100 years since the birth of the late Congressman Morris K. Udall, who served as a representative from Arizona for over 30 years. Morris, endearingly known as Mo, was honored and remembered with a Centennial celebration in Tucson, Arizona on April 28th, with a second event to be live-streamed from the nation's capital on December 7th. Appropriately placed at the University of Arizona's Environment and Natural Resources Building, the celebration was hosted by the University of Arizona's Udall Center for Studies in Public Policy, the University Library Special Collections Department, and the Morris K. Udall and Stuart L. Udall Foundation. Distinguished speakers from the Congressman's past spoke of his decades-long career in public service. Welcome remarks were provided by University President Robert C. Robbins, Udall Center Director Andrea Gerlach, Dean of Libraries Sean Sutton, and Special Collections Department Head Veronica Reyes Escudero, and Chair of the Udall Foundation Board, Charles Rose. Former associates and assistants from the Congressman's office, Frank Ducheneau, Alex Scabine, Tad Johnson, Frank Felix, and Bruce Wright, as well as Delia Carlisle from the Ak-Chin Indian community, and the chairman of the Pascua Yaqui tribe, Peter Yucapicio. Keynote talks were delivered by Eric Eberhard from the Udall Foundation, University of Arizona law professor Rebecca Sosi, whose expertise is in federal Indian law and human rights for indigenous communities, John Lishi, former solicitor of the U.S. Department of the Interior, Dr. Ann Udall, daughter of the Congressman, and former Senator Mark Udall, son of the Congressman.
It didn't matter whether he was winning or losing. He was always Mo. When he arrived on Capitol Hill in May of 1961, he had a buzz cut, wore Western shirts, cowboy boots, Western suits, and people often snickered as he walked by. And he was an obvious presence, 6'5". It was always easy to pick Mo out in the room. Mo just let that all roll off of him. He was just being Mo.
We have gathered today to celebrate his illustrious career with some of those who knew him best. Of course, some couldn't be here. At this point, I would like to convey the greeting of Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, and his wife, Rosalind. The Carter Center in Atlanta wrote to us to say that the Carters are no longer able to travel, but they send their best wishes for a successful celebration.
Brand new political landscape Mo had to navigate through as chair of the House Interior Committee. But he exercised his enormous influence, chalked up remarkable successes. Negotiating skills, marvelous sense of humor, the respect he commanded from all members, including those on the other side of the aisle, kept the pipeline full of public land protection legislation. Along the way, by the way, he was instrumental in greening up the legacies, the environmental legacies of two very conservative Republicans, Ronald Reagan, president, and Barry Goldwater.
In any case, this was a man who lived by word, who lived by example, and all of us who worked for him got an education and got guidance, and he will forever be my hero in life.
It's known there was not a better legislator. As Eric has already mentioned, Mo didn't try to hard pressure anybody. He achieved his ends, particularly in Indian affairs, with a joke and a kind word and a little persuasion.
Dad had placed his 11th commandment, which some of you may know, thou shalt not take thyself too seriously. Another passage in humor sense of that he included was by a British politician who I have no idea who is, but I love this quote. I would apologize to some if they found my attempts at humor offensive, but I have never thought a sense of humor needed to destroy your sense of responsibility. And this is where I can really hear Dad. And in my case, I felt it was better to have a sense of humor then no sense at all.
So see, we have all gone through all of that. And you start looking at the respect, the honor, the things that just that bill did for us. The Mo Udall legacy for us is a way of life. It's a pathway to respect, honor, and a vision of hope for all Yaquis that are coming, and yet alone all tribal members. Navajo, Apache, we all have our legacies, and there always is somebody from up there in heaven. God sent an angel to help you out, and for us that was Mo Udall.
Well, I look around in Tucson, the national park on both sides of the town. Not many places have a national park on both sides of the city. My brother and I got President Kennedy to do Saguaro West out here in the Tucson Mountains. I look up on Push Ridge where the bighorn sheep are and where it's in wilderness. My bill put it in there, and our children are going to be able to look at that. And it's this kind of thing that makes you proud. The people who put up Golden Gate Park in San Francisco or Central Park in New York are people of vision, and I'd like to be looked upon as somebody who did a little bit, who had some vision and foresight and made Tucson the kind of special community that we want it to be.
The Udall Center and Udall Foundation will host another commemorative event on December 7th in Washington, D.C. to focus on Mo Udall's legacy in national policy. Visit udallcenter.arizona.edu/Mo100 to learn more and register to join the live stream.